Yes, the Apple II. If you were a kid in the late 80s, early 90s, you probably remember playing with a lot of these in elementary school, middle school. My school was still using these up until they even still had a few laying around when I was in high school, even and up until the late 90s. Playing Oregon Trail, Number Munchers. Then there were the games that teachers always didn't like, Moon Patrol and Mozotenzama's Revenge, the one I always mispronounce. There were tons and tons of games. You either had these or these. My computer lab had two walls on the, I can't remember which was which, but on one wall had, on one side had all Apple IIgs, and then when you went to the other wall, you had the two GSs, and the difference was the brown one, the Apple IIgs, only had the, I don't want to say black and white, but green and white. They had the green screens. They only had two colors. And of course these, the two GSs, were in full color. So I remember, I think it was like once a week, the whole classroom would go down to the computer lab, and of course you wanted to be the fastest kid because you wanted to get on the color machines because the games ran a little better, and you had the color screen, and the slower, nerdier kids that weren't quick enough, of course the bullies pushed the other kids, and usually I ended up with the playing on the 2E most of the time, but every once in a while I get lucky and I get on a GS. Anyway, I'm rambling on about the past. What I decided to do, I pulled this out of the closet. I've been playing with it. I wanted to see if I could do some more preventative maintenance and maybe do some upgrades on it. And I've been doing some research online, and there are companies that are still making stuff for these older computers. One of the first things I looked for, there's a company called the Apple online store. They're not sponsoring me or anything. I'm a nobody, but I decided to order one of these serial cable because the cable I have does work, but it's kind of crude and it's kind of a Mickey Mouse mess. It's like 3 cables in one. And I decided, I'd like to have one nice clean cable for when I'm using ADD Pro. So anyway, I got a nice new serial cable. Another thing, I didn't even realize it. It's a good thing I did. You want to get this battery cut out as soon as possible. Luckily mine has not leaked and decided to corrode my motherboard. It was nice and clean yet, but yeah, you want to get this cut out. Even if you're not using your computer, open that sucker up and get that battery out of there, because I've seen too many horror pictures on the internet of what this battery can do to your motherboard. It can almost make it impossible to repair if it gets too corroded. So I bought a new battery and a new holder to replace that. And then I found another company called Retroactive Micro, and they sell, I always wanted a hard drive for this, but to find a SCSI hard drive for these things is, I don't want to say impossible. You can find them, but you know what old hard drives do, they as time goes on, they just die. This company makes a cheap and reasonable compact flash card. Basically, you're using a compact flash card as a hard drive. You can take this adapter off, and you can use your own hard drive. This is and then this just plugs into one of the slots on your GS, and you have a hard drive again. Another thing I've been reading a lot about, the Apple II was built really, really well, but one flaw, and it's a ticking time bomb. I thought, oh boy, I better get that taken care of. There is one capacitor on the power supply, and when that sucker blows, it really makes a stink in your house. And I took mine apart, and you can see it's starting to expand and starting to get cracks in it. That's when it's a sign you better get them changed. So these are so cheap that I bought a whole bag of them just so I got some extras. Because I definitely wanted to change the one in this one, and I figured while I was at it, I might as well change the one in this power. I took the power supply out of my 2E. The 2GS and the 2E, the power supplies are very, very similar. The only difference is the connection plug. Otherwise, they're pretty much the same power supply, same voltage and all that stuff. So I definitely wanted to get that done. The only thing that I do not have yet today, but I figured I can leave that out of this video, I did order, believe it or not, you can buy RAM for the GS yet. I got 1 megabyte expansion card in there right now, and you can go all the way up to 8 megabytes, and the price is fairly reasonable. So I still have this card coming. Basically all you do is you pull your old card out and you put the new in, and expands it to 8. The only thing I would really, really love to get someday, but they're so hard to find and so rare. They want anywhere from $500. I've seen them go for even up to $1,000. They call it a trans warp accelerator card. Basically, it just Apple purposely made the CPU slower than what it needed to be, so Steve Jobs, it wouldn't outsell Steve Jobs' Macintoshes. But they did make what they call a transwarp accelerator card. I did find this same company, retroactivemicro.com, is making like a aftermarket equivalent to that for $450. While that is very, very tempting, to me it's a little bit out of my budget yet. I can't see spending that kind of money on my GS because I don't use it that much. But someday that would be a nice addition. But yeah, if I got that, I'd have like the ultimate Apple IIgs. But yeah, that's the one thing on my wish list that I do not have that I would love to add to my 2GS, but we'll just have to wait until another time. So yeah, anyway, let's get started. The nice thing about the 2GS back in them days, they made them very user-friendly when it came to servicing them. You don't even need screwdrivers or tools or nothing to open the cover up. There's these 2 tabs on each side here, if you look where my fingers are. It's a little tricky getting off sometimes. Basically got to push this tab in and get your fingers under this seam right here just right. And sometimes they can pop a little hard, but if you get it just right, and you can lift the lid right off. No screwdrivers or nothing. Yeah, a real simple layout. Here is the RAM expansion card that I was talking about. Let's see if I can pull that out. I do believe I have the full 1 megabyte. Yeah, when this is the original cards that you could buy back in the day. What is it, 1986? Yeah, and at the time I think that was as high as you could go. Because RAM was kind of expensive back in the day. But yeah, you could buy this card. Stock originally the 2GS I think is 256 kilobytes, and then you could buy this card that give you another 256 for a total of 512. And then as you filled these banks, I think what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 chips. Let's see, you go 512, then you could add another 256. Another 256 until you fill them all up, and then you'd have a total of a little over 1,000 kilobytes, which gives you the full 1 megabyte. But anyway, yeah, that card I was showing you, basically, I'll just pull this card out and then plop that new one into that expansion slot there. But being I don't have that yet, I think it's going to take a couple days to come in the mail yet. And I got all this other cool stuff to play with. I'll add this stuff. The first thing I want to do before that baby pops is I want to take care of that capacitor. And I'm going to show you how this power supply comes apart so we can do that. I already had it apart once to look at it. I'm like, ooh, it kind of scared me, so I quit turning it on because I don't want that sucker to pop. Basically, to remove the power supply, you only got one cord to pull here. Pull that cord off there. Mine does have some have them and some don't, but mine does have a cooling fan on the side here just to help cool things off. Not that these get hot anyway. But yeah, I got another little cord up here I got to pull just for the fan. And you notice I didn't grab a screwdriver or nothing yet. There's a little tab here that you pull here. It's a little harder to do with one hand though. Yeah, you push that tab and then you pull up a little bit and pull back a little bit. And there you have your power supply. And right underneath that power supply, if you look there, that's where this battery was. I already took side cutters and nipped this out, but you want to get this battery out of here as soon as possible. You know, all you need is a pair of little nippers like this, and just, you know, you might want to leave these. And I'm glad I did, because with the kit I got, you actually straighten them things that you cut, and you push these wires on there, and then you got it where you can change the battery without having to solder it ever again, which is, I like this idea. That's going to be nice. So that'll take care of that issue. Yeah, they used really good capacitors back in the day, so I don't think I have to worry about. Basically, the motherboard is in really, really nice shape. Very seldom does anything go wrong with these things. They were built very high quality back in the day. Anyway, let's get to that power supply. Okay, we are at the stage now that we are going to need a couple of tools. Phillips screwdrivers and maybe a couple different size flat screwdrivers. These can be a little bit finicky to take apart. This fan can be a little tricky. Let's see if I can show you here. There's two little tabs on each side that you gotta, I guess I'm not sure how to show you that, but you want to pull these two little tabs out this way and the fan will slide up. And they are very tricky, very finicky, and I have broken these little tabs in the past on other fans. So you want to be careful, because this plastic does get old. They're not the easiest thing in the world to get off. Get the angle just right. There, I think I got it started. Oh, come on. There, it's coming. I got one side to start it. Oh, man. Come on. You can do it. There we come. There. Oh, I didn't break them either. Lucky me. So yeah, that's how that slides on. Goes in them grooves here, and you slide it. I don't want to slide it back on because it's such a pain to get off. But there, I got the fan off. And then there's two Phillips screws on the top. Pull off. There's also two little lock washers under there. You don't want to lose them. Set them off to the side. Now these can be a little tricky to get opened up too. Matter of fact, you can see where I even bent mine a little bit, but they're not hard to straighten back out. Basically, you want to get in here with a real thin screwdriver. There's tabs here. You got to wiggle and jiggle and kind of work your way all the way around the power supply to get the top to lift off. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it is doable. You just got to take your time, wiggle it a little bit here, and just kind of work your way back and forth, and work your way to this side. Try to find a seam to get into, and there she's starting to work up. The ones on the Apple IIs and the IIs are a little easier to open, but yeah, these can be a little tricky. They're starting to pop. You just gotta take your time and be gentle and try not to bend it all the heck. There, it's starting to lift off. There we go. Now we have access to the inside. Yeah, that was one good thing Apple did do. They used very high quality, good capacitors. As you can see, nothing's bulging. No problems there. But this guy, right here, that little guy is the problem right there. You want to get that changed out as soon as possible. Especially if it's doing like mine. You see how it's getting hairline cracks in it? And when that decides to pop, I don't think it does any damage to anything other than making a stink in your house. You know, it smells like burnt melting paper and plastic, and it makes a pretty good stink anyway. But yeah, you definitely want to get that replaced with one of these. So that's what we're going to do now. And I do believe, let's see, looks like 2 more screws to get the board out of here. There's one here and another one up here. I also think we want to get, how hard is it to take this wiring harness out of here? Let's see here. I do believe that I think I can take that apart. It would be nice. Yeah, you can take these apart. You just have to open them up. Basically, you just want to sit there very carefully and pry them open. Yeah, like I say, it's not the easiest thing to do. Basically, you want to take some needle nose and squeeze this plastic. And if you take 2 hands and a couple screwdrivers and just gently pry, eventually you get it to pop out of this hole here, this way, and that'll free up that wire. Then when you're done, you just pop it back in. So we got that wire free. Let's see, I gotta take out them 2 Phillips screws yet. There's also 2 more screws on the side here for this heatsink for the voltage regulators. Them have to also come out. Unfortunately, the power mains that run into here, they are soldered on to the board, and to save myself some work, I don't feel like desoldering them. I decided to do some wiggle jiggle. You can, you know, you don't want to bend too hard on it, but you can flex the tin cage around it, and if you're careful, you can wiggle that out, and eventually you will get it to where you can lift it up just enough. Oops, I'm still caught on a tab here. There we go. Or you can just flip it up, and if you're real careful not to put too much stress on the wires, you can flip it around like this, because all we got to do is change that one capacitor. So the less soldering I got to do, the better. There he is. You need to get to these 2 right here. So let me get this out of the way. Let me get my soldering tools out. And if my memory is correct when it comes to electronics, I think electrolytic and tantalum lytic are the only 2 that are polarized, and this is these are neither one of them, and there are no positive or negative, or so I think this can go on either way. And looking at the board, yeah, I do believe it doesn't matter which way that goes in. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure this can go in either way. It doesn't matter. So, okay. Just gonna take my little side nippers here and nip them off as flush as possible. That sometimes helps things out a little bit. Let's see, nothing else. No, that's the only leg. That's gotta be the leg for that. There we go. Let's see, I suppose I could put a little bit of flux on. Oh, this stuff smells old. There we go, it's still good yet. We'll put a little bit of flux on there. Let's see, we gotta get that warmed up. I do not like to show myself soldering on camera because I'm such a nervous wreck and I'm not the best soldering guy in the world. One thing that does help, let's see if I can get this to focus. You want to get your tip nice and clean and clean it off good here. And that getting loose again? God, it feels like my tip's getting loose again. Oh, that's tight. Okay. Yeah, after a while the heat loosens the tip. Sometimes you gotta tighten it up a little bit. Let's see, we'll get some fresh solder in there. I like to add a little solder to help it. Why are we not melting here? Come on. I don't know what it is about that older solder, but like it takes forever to. Come on. Sometimes you mix a new solder with the old, it'll help it melt a little bit better. There we go, now it's starting to uniform. It can take a little while. Come on. I got my soldering iron cranked up quite a ways. There, she's starting to melt in there nice. There we go. Now I've got some nice fresh stuff in there. We can take some of this, they call it Desoldering Wick. You can start sucking up the solder. Getting shaky again too. She's sucking it up pretty good. Yeah, you don't want to hold it on there too long because you'll burn the board. Get what you can. Alright, I think I got that pretty good. Come on. I should have grabbed the bigger roll. This might be a little small for what I'm doing. I'll get it sucked up. Oh, it's just getting hot. Alright, I gotta cut some new stuff off here. We're getting there. There, she's starting to soak it up. Why is that one being so stubborn? Come on. I think I got enough where I can get it off. Alright, I finally got the little booger out. I pulled one side out, and then the other side I had a heck of a time getting this leg out. I just keep playing around with it, and finally took the solder sucker and or solder wick and cleaned the holes the best I could. Ignore this little scratch here. I slipped with the soldering iron a little bit. I don't think it hurt anything though. It just scuffed the coating off. But it's such a nice big trace, it shouldn't hurt anything. So they got 3 holes here. They must have an extra hole for different size capacitors. Let's see which holes these two go into the nicest. I'm beginning to see why a lot of YouTubers don't like to show soldering. It is a pain in the butt trying to show you what I'm doing. There we go. I think I got a little carried away with the flux there. There we go. starting to flow. Come on, flow nice. There we go, it looks pretty decent. I'm going to double check this one. That looks pretty decent to me. I think I can live with that. It might get a little thick there, but there's plenty of room underneath that board. Let's see if we get the old alcohol out and clean it up. See how it looks here. Yeah, when it comes to soldering and electronics, good old isopropylene alcohol is your friend. Really cleans things up when you're all done. Oh yeah, it almost looks as good as factory. If I can show you what I'm doing here. Basically just taking a Q-tip and cleaning up all the flux. You don't want to leave the flux on there at all. It's not a good thing. Good old alcohol. Clean things up, make nice and shiny. There, I guess that don't look half bad. Let's see if I can show you what I'm doing here. Yeah, that looks much better. Nice new cap, good, soldered in good and solid, or soldered in good. So I think that's the last time I'm going to show me soldering on camera. Boy, is that a pain in the butt trying to show you what I'm doing. Yeah, them look like good. I wished I wouldn't have slipped with my soldering iron there though. I don't like that little scratch I made there, but oh well, it happens. But yeah, I do believe that should be good to go. I'll get to put it back together again. Before I do put it back together, I see that they do have a little bit of thermal compound for this heat sink for the voltage regulators. I think I want to wipe the old stuff off. And I don't know if I would do my... Nah, it doesn't need Arctic Silver. I think I'll go with the cheaper stuff. So I'm sure that's all they used. Get some fresh thermal compound on there. Not that it probably doesn't even need it, because these power supplies don't get that hot really. The Apple IIgs doesn't really draw that much power, but I'll do it anyway. I'll wipe it off, put some fresh compound on it, just to be nice. Now for the fun part, to do the wiggle and the jiggle and get it all back together again. There's like little slot grooves you got to get them into. I want to check my wires, make sure I didn't put too much stress on them, and oh no, them feel like they're good and solid yet. Alrighty, there's probably no easy way to do this, but I'll just do the best I can. I want to get that end in first, like that. Okay, that's got to stay above the slot. Let's try this again. There we go. The worst one is the one in the middle. That one you almost have to flex the case a little bit to get it to go in that. Can I tip it up a little bit or something? Oh, there it went. There we go. There we go. Ah, and then it got out of that one. You sneaky little booger. Oh, there, I got it. There we go. Yeah, that can be a little tricky. Yeah, there's two little metal tabs that stick out that hold the board off so it doesn't touch anything metal. So it's actually sitting about a 1/4 inch above the. That feels good. I think we can live with that. Put the 2 screws back in it. Let's see, I do believe it's these 2. Get some screws put back in it. Yeah, that's that. That's the little metal notches I was talking about. The board slides in between 2 pieces of metal there. Yeah, put the 2 screws back in to hold the board back in. Make sure you get your 2 screws back on your heat sink on the back side here. And if you got a little carried away with the thermal compound, go ahead and wipe that up so it ain't getting all over the place. Clean it up. And of course, pop your wire thingy-majiggy back in here. These can be a finicky little booger, but Take your time, needle those pliers, just squeeze them back in and pop them back in. And we can pop the cover on and 2 screws, and I guess we can give it a test run. And before I even put it in the computer, I think I'm going to do some checking some voltages with my multimeter here. According to the diagram here, all I got to worry about is 5 volt and 12 volt. So I think I'll probe these wires here and see what I get for voltages. See if we're within specs. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see, that should be the 5 volt side. Maybe just a tick high, but definitely within specs, plus there's not a load on it, so that looks good. Let's try the 12 volt. Oh yeah, 12 volt's beautiful. That rail's a little on the low side, but still within specs, I think. Ooh, and that one's pretty good. I can live with that. Yeah, I'd say that's good. I don't see no problems with that. Alright. Okay, we can put our little cooling fan back on. Let's see, make sure I got that the right way. Yeah, it goes into these 2 little slots here. Push in. There we go. Put the fan back on. Back into your home. There we go. Our wires back up. Put our fan wire back on. Let's see. Yeah, I can get that in there for now. See if it still lives. Okay, I'm not going to hook anything up, just the monitor and the computer. Let's just see if it turns on. Why don't we have video here? Oh, I just got to turn the... Yep, that's what it's supposed to do. Looks good. Oh, I could hook up the... You know, one thing I have not done in a long time, I should hook up the keyboard and do a self-test, see if the RAM is all good. Let's see, if memory serves me correct, I think you hold the Option key and the Apple key. Hold them 2 keys down while turning the power on at the same time, and I think it goes into some kind of self-diagnostics test. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah. Okay. I believe this just checks all the ROM and the RAM. I think it just does a bunch of beeps, and it should say system okay or kernel okay or something like that. See if we got a good fully working Apple here. And I guess next thing I'll tackle, that shouldn't be hard to put in, I'll put in the new battery for the BIOS. Or I guess they don't call it a BIOS back in them days, the control panel. Ooh, what does that mean? Hopefully that's a good thing. Why did it stop there? Does that mean we got an error code? I don't like that. Geez, maybe there is something wrong with my Apple IIgs. Okay, system bad 7000. What does that mean? I'll have to investigate that. Okay, I'm an idiot. According to that, that error code is, from what I read in some forums, is because the battery's dead. Well, we didn't put the new battery in it yet. So once I put the new battery in it, we'll run that test again, and then we'll see if it comes back clean. Okay, the instructions seem straightforward enough. Basically, we already did the first couple steps. They say to cut the old battery out as close to the battery as possible, so you got some nice terminals here. And then what you want to do is you want to straighten these terminals so you can push these on to the terminal. And what was positive, what was negative? Okay, positive terminal is toward the back. So I want to make sure the red wire goes on this one. And I might have to get the pliers and straighten that out. It ain't quite straight enough. Anyway, you want to make that terminal nice and straight along with this one. Alright, that's easy enough to do. You might want to trim them down a little bit too. They can be a little bit too long. I'd say about 1/4 inch or so is plenty of length. Just enough to push it on the terminal here. And then I bent mine down a little bit to make sure the power supply is not going to hit it. And they also give you a piece of self-adhesive Velcro, so you can stick the whole thing down in here just like that. Nice, I like this. Nice, simple. There, it don't look half bad in there. I suppose if a guy really wanted to get fancy-pantsy about it, a guy could remove the heat shrink off these terminals and solder this battery socket right to the board, and then it would look factory, but I don't know. I guess I can live with this setup. Alright, let's get it back together and see if it works. Ah, sweet. We are good to go. Okay. Alright. Okay, now that I got the GS up and running, I guess the next thing I'm going to play with is this. But before I install it or do anything with it, I want to make a full backup image of this card, so if I screw anything up, I have a backup image of it. Yeah, that's one thing nice about ordering from this company. You can order this, the compact flash adapter, and the card, which is pre-installed with ProDOS 8, GSOS 6.01. Basically, yeah, it's pretty much got everything that I think that I want on it. So make a backup copy of that and go from there. I downloaded the PDF file for that adapter card. It tells you everything you need to know about it, how to boot it, how to set it up and everything. But yeah, that's what's nice. It's let's see, where did I put that? Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, it definitely comes. These are the images I took of it. I got a full backup image of it, and then there's another program you can download. I forget what it was, where I took an image of each partition, and each partition it does. There's the GSOS. And then there's ProDOS. I'm not sure what that is yet. And it's partitioned into 32 megabyte sections, because I think that's the biggest the GS can read, is only 32 megabyte partitions. So yeah, and each partition, I think by default it boots into ProDOS first, but you can change that in the settings. I got to do some more reading and learning here on how it works. So I'll get back to you. Alrighty, so let's get that card installed. This is all kind of new to me. I'm learning along with you as I'm going here, looking stuff up. They recommend the default slot is slot 7. So we'll put it in slot 7 and see what it does. Another thing I was concerned about when I seen this compact flash adapter card, I saw this power input wire, and I thought, oh shoot, how the heck am I going to power that? According to what I read on the Microactive website, this adapter does not require power to it. Apparently it gets power from here, so all we got to do is plug it into a slot, and I guess it's good to go. So we'll see how this goes. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty sharp in there. Yeah, that looks pretty sharp in there. I like that. Luckily, from what I read, to run GSOS, you have to have a minimum of 1 megabyte, which I do have. I'm sure it's going to be a little slow because it's running at the bare minimum. But hopefully, once I get my 8 megabyte memory expansion card in the mail, I'm hoping it'll come in a couple days here. I'm sure that'll speed things up. But we do have enough to at least test it and try it out and run it. So I guess I'm going to get the rest of this hooked up and closed up and try it out. Holy crap, is this nice. Yeah, it's I didn't even realize this. Look at this. It comes with ADD Pro already installed. Copy 2 Plus. Games. 2E games. This is impressive. This is just awesome. Wow. Okay, to get to the GSOS, let's see if I remember how to do this. Let's reset. Hold the Apple key. Press 2. Whoops. I think I gotta hold the key while I'm doing it. There we go. Okay. Awesome. GSOS. Welcome to the 2GS System 6001. Well, I'll tell you one thing, this is loading a heck of a lot faster than it did on the floppy disk years ago. Ooh, what is this? Must not be recognizing one of them partitions. I'm going to ignore it for now. Wow, this is nice. Sweet. So I do have the GSOS I can play around with now. I gotta see what we all got on here for games. Okay, let's go to 2E games. Do they have that one I always like to play? No, they do not. Oh, they do have Moon Patrol though. Let's try Moon Patrol. That is just so cool that it's preloaded with some of these games already. Huh. Oh, okay, that is way too fast. I'm gonna have to go in the control panel. Slow this down here. Yeah, I forgot the GS is faster than the 2E. So you do have to go in the control panel, slow it down for the 2E games, otherwise it won't work right. There we go, that's better. So yeah, anytime you're playing the older Apple IIe games, sometimes you have to slow it down. Now this is just awesome, man. Let's see, what else do we got on here for games? Let's see. Ooh, what do we got for GS games? I can't think of any off the top of my head. Oh, wow. Well, there is Montunzo's Revenge. I thought that was a 2E game. Oh, hello. Okay, didn't like that. I'm sure I'm going to find problems here and there. I wonder if I got to go back to normal speed here. That might help. 'Cause it is a... There we go. Okay, what? Oh, game, was it GS games or was it just games? I think it was GS games. Games. Where did I see it? Oh, there it is. Motunzama's Revenge. Ooh, no, it does. I don't know why it doesn't like that. That's odd. No, let's try a different game. Let's just go under games. Oh, it does have Mrs. Pac-Man Deluxe. Let's try that. Oh, I don't have my joystick hooked up though. I mean, this is just so cool. You don't have to flip and mess with those floppies half the time because they don't even work. And I definitely can load some of my old games in floppies. I mean, man, it's going to take forever to go through some of this stuff. It's just unbelievable. wonder if we get a... Oh, wow. Okay, this is different. I'm not sure what I'm under here. Fast boot. Let's go under GS Games. Games. Maybe we have to go under here to make it work. Yep. There, I got my Tenzuma's Revenge working, I think. Yes, I do. Haha, how sweet is that? My favorite game. Define keys. Left, right, up, down, and jump. Did I get that right? Oops, nah. That is just so awesome. You know what? Let's see if we can get the sound a little louder here. It's not very loud. There we go. There we go. That's better. Stay away. Oh, really? I thought I could stay a step down. It's been so long since I played this. That is just so cool that I don't have to mess with those floppy disks anymore. Man, the hours I spent playing this in high school. Alright, I better quit playing around here. But yeah, this works great. Man, I am going to love this setup. I mean, it's just so easy to access everything. Boom, there's ADT Pro. Whoops. I didn't access that right. I mean, it's going to take getting a little bit, sorry about that, get a little bit used to. Let's see. Do I hit that? There we go. Yep, and then I just picked serial. Oh, look at that. There's ADT Pro ready to go. Don't even have to boot it from floppy, so I can transfer stuff straight from the serial port right onto that compact flash card. That is just so awesome. I have no idea what Bitsy boot is. No idea what that is. I'll have to copy 2 plus. Man, that is awesome. Yeah, that is just... Man, look at all the games on here, man. I mean, they must have every game that... Crossfire. I mean, it's just so cool that you can buy this preloaded with everything. That is just so awesome. I mean, it's all there. Nightcrawler, I've played that before. Man. I mean, not every game is on here, but one thing I did notice under the 2E games, I didn't see, or is it the Oregon Trail? Yeah, I did not see. Oh no, it is there. Okay. Oops, I think I screwed that up again. It's gonna take getting used to it. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, Oregon Trail. I bet I have to hit that first. There we go. Wow. There's Oregon Trail. Boom. Don't have to look for the floppy. That is just awesome. I cannot believe that is just awesome. Another one I didn't see was Number Munchers. Let's see if Number Munchers is on here. Oh yeah, it is there. Oh my goodness! They even got the mech games on here. That is just unbelievable. Jeez, how cool is that? It's just awesome. Yeehaw. And I don't have to look for floppies anymore. I just boot it up and away I go. That is just awesome. Man. How awesome is that, man? Just boom. That is just too cool. Yes, I know I'm hitting reset here. Wow, that is just so awesome. Man. What do we got under here? I mean, I just can't believe all the games are like here. I mean, I don't have to do anything. It's just, it's here and it's done. I mean, so yeah, that is just so awesome. I guess the last thing I can give a quick review on is the cable. They really sent a nice cable. There's the serial round one for Apple on one end and that on that end. For some reason they sent this. I'm not sure why. Oh, okay. Maybe that's a straight through cable, and then this adapts it to null modem. Okay, so that's why they sent that, to adapt it to. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I'll be using that for that process. Yeah, I pretty much I've been sitting here playing with it, just seeing what all was on here. The only program that I could not find on here, yeah, I even found Apple Works. How awesome is that? So yeah. The only one I haven't found yet is the print shop. I'm thinking that the print shop is not on there, so I'll probably have to add my own, which is not hard to do now that I got that. I'll just use ADD Pro and transfer it over to and add it on here, and I'll never have to use them silly floppy disks ever again. I mean, that's just awesome. I would say these old Apple computers, that's probably the system. I've never had an Apple system really go bad to the point where you couldn't fix it. The highest maintenance things are these damn things. You always got to open them up, clean the heads, and they're finicky little boogers. And the floppies don't last very long. So yeah, that is definitely the way to go. Get one of them compact flash card reader cards, and this is such an awesome setup. I mean, it takes a little bit getting used to, but it ain't bad. It's got a pretty nice simple menu setup. Yeah, this is just awesome. So yeah, I guess that's my review on that. I guess all I gotta do now is wait for my my more RAM to come, and that should speed things up even more, especially with GSOS. So yeah, I'm having a pretty good time with this old girl again. This is awesome. So thanks for watching. Bye.